Shalom, Israel. It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. What's going on, my set apart ones, chosen ones, enlightened ones? Peace and blessings to everybody joining the chat. This beautiful afternoon. Let's see here. Slim Hussein in the building. Teresa Henry. Welcome to New Breed Global Truth, where we discuss some of the ills of society. We talk about ways to avoid certain pitfalls in the system. We really hone in and focus on spiritual enlightenment and becoming a greater version of yourself. And we have an array of different content on this platform. I mean, we got everything from commentary videos, news briefs. We pretty much do it all over here. So one-stop shop. And we also do these motivational talks for several reasons. The times we living in are tumultuous, to say the least. And it seems to be a battle against those who are righteous, those who choose to take the right path. Being holy simply means being set apart. And you know the Bible tells us broad leadeth to damnation, but narrow is the path to salvation. So since this is the case, a lot of times when you choose to do the right thing, it's frowned upon. It's actually shunned. A lot of people don't think it's fly to go out here and take the righteous step. You know, a lot of people condemn people making better decisions for themselves. Matter of fact, you could just change up certain things and start loving on yourself and respecting yourself the way you're supposed to. And all of a sudden you see all manners of evil come out of people. How many of y'all have experienced that? Where it's like you don't know what has taken over an individual. It's like you're trying to change for the better. You're trying to eat better. You're trying to avoid drama. You're more so into the Most High, into your scriptures. You're just not doing the things that you used to do. And all of a sudden, the people around you are just pulling at you. And it almost feels like they're trying to strip and drain you of all your energy. All you feel is pulling, tugging. And the more you hone in and focus on what's right, the more that tugging goes on. There's a targeting going on. And you know, I talk about gang stalking on this platform. For those who are unfamiliar with that, that's organized mobbing. When a group of individuals come together on one accord collectively to pretty much stalk another individual, they watch them with despitefulness and wickedness. There's all kind of programs, there's all kind of agencies that give individuals incentives to harass, watch, and pretty much disturb general citizens, regular citizens within the states. But a lot of people don't realize how spiritual gang stalking can be as well, right? Gang stalking can be also taking place in one's life because they're set apart in a wicked society where left is right and up is down and down is up. You know, everything is in reverse, right? You know, when you're speaking different, when you're trying to take the righteous course, the devils and the demons start to manifest in people. So I want to go to some scriptures to prepare us for this combat because it's real. Psalms 109 verse 2 reads, "For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compass me about also with words of hatred, and fought against me without a cause, without a cause, without a cause." It goes on to say, "For my love, they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. And they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love." That's what we're experiencing, ladies and gentlemen. When you actually let love in and lead with love and have it in your heart, You're going to have people raise their mouths in condemnation and despitefulness and hatred. They're going to surround you in all ways. And it's our service and our due diligence to make sure that there's not a breach, right? To make sure our enemies aren't able to get in with their words, because that's an entry point. This is why some of you all, as soon as you're doing the right thing, you'll get a phone call with somebody trying to trigger you. You got somebody all of a sudden calling your phone with some nonsense, spewing out all kinds of rhetoric to try to get you out of character, sending you text messages to try to affect your day in a negative way, right? You know, this is a tactic of the adversary, because they need an entry point. Now let me read this again. Peep this scripture. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. They compassed me about also with words of hatred, and fought against me without cause. They don't even need a reason. Some of you brothers and sisters are wondering why. Why are you being targeted? Why is the family having meetings about you? Why do you have this overwhelming feeling that, you know, people are trying their best to shut doors of opportunity? You have this overwhelming feeling that people are trying their best to stop you from progressing. And you can feel the envy, you can feel the jealousy, you can see it because of their actions, right? And you saying to yourself, they hate me without even a cause. Listen, they don't need a cause. The bottom line is, a lot of you all have isolated yourselves from the world, and you're not bowing down to this system. You're not going along to get along, right? You're not going along to get along, and people can't accept that. Somebody said they be body hopping. That is a fact. It's sort of like, I liken this to Denzel Washington's movie Fallen. Y'all remember that movie where the demons were hopping into individuals? You know, time is on my side. Yes, it is. Y'all remember that movie? Every time Denzel would be moving through the streets, something would happen where an entity would jump in the individual and start to play out what needed to be done, right? Or what that demon would have that person do, right? And it's very real. Yeah, somebody said that's a classic, right? I mean, the moment when you start to wake up, the moment where you start seeking truth and searching, that's the moment where these forces, they start to watch. And they come together collectively because spirits recognize each other. So the reason why all of a sudden they attacking you on one accord, and it almost feels like it's orchestrated. That's because their spirit bear witness to each other. And their father, the devil, their adversary, he's manipulating and controlling these individuals. You're at war. And, you know, I'm going to give you some more scriptures to prepare you for this battle, right? The scriptures tell us in Deuteronomy 31:6, be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he is that doeth go with thee. He will not fail thee, and he will not forsake thee. Now I hope those words really set into your souls and your spirits when you hear this, ladies and gentlemen. He will not forsake you. He will not leave you. He is always with you. You got to understand this. It's pivotal to know this, because never, but never, no matter what you go through with these entities, these energy vampires, these people with weak, fickle emotions, the Lord has never, and I mean but never, forsake the righteous. You may go through your turmoil, you may go through financial difficulties, you may gain things and lose things. You know, certain opportunities may be stripped from you right before your eyes. You may have times where you are really feeling discouraged and targeted by the world and angry. You may feel a lot of pain, and you know, betrayal is nothing like when people around you betray you. Through all of that, the Most High God have not forsaken you. And just knowing that, being able to wake up day from day, understanding that you still have opportunity, you still have chance, you still have purpose. Hey, it's a glorious thing to marvel at. Real talk. Real talk. Diana says, yes, energy is what you need to take care of, because that is what makes you fold sometimes. Absolutely. Protecting your energy at all costs. Do not allow these forces to trigger you, because that's the goal. Real talk. I got more scriptures for y'all, man. We going in today. The scriptures read in Psalms 138, verse 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thine hand against the wrath of mine enemies, and thy right hand shall save me. See, when we talk about our enemies, we're talking about individuals who could be somebody close to you. We're talking about individuals who plot in dark places, behind closed doors. We're talking about people who have an unhealthy obsession with you to the point where they want to extract your life force from you. When we talk about enemies, we're talking about individuals who can pose as a friend, but all the while they got a knife behind their backs, waiting to take you out. The Lord said, if you operate in courage, he will strengthen you, and he'll destroy all your enemies, all of them. Every trap and every snare that they set for you is going to reverse on them. And this is why these people need to be mindful of what you say about the Lord's designated people. You got to be very mindful, because the Most High God ain't playing no games. Even you chosen ones out there, you got to be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you treat people, because the payback, it comes back quickly. It comes back quickly. Swift judgment in these last days. So you need to be careful how you treat people, because you never know if you're doing one of the Lord's children wrong and you doing one of the Lord's children dirty. It'll come back and it'll wipe you out. I done seen it happen time and time again, yo. That's why you gotta have humility. You gotta be humble. You gotta display maturity. You gotta treat people the way that you want to be treated. That's right. The payback, the big payback. Somebody put that James Brown up in there. It comes back on you. Because people think they could just get over on individuals. Listen, the rat pack, such as the industry and those of the world who want to be of the world, hey, listen, they could be treacherous to each other all day. They're bred in that, because the Most High God uses the wicked to judge the unjust. So they can live like that. They can cutthroat. They can be conniving. They can be backbiters. But you better be careful that you're not doing that, because the judgment ain't no joke. See, our God is not a God to be played with. So this is a message for all you weirdos out there, all you perpetrators, all you silent watchers who don't participate, all you people who don't support, all you individuals who behind the scenes plotting on brothers' downfall and watching people and sending your little agents. And look, this is for you. The Most High God of all gods is going to destroy you weirdos. Real talk. He's going to destroy you. Every word that I'm saying to you in your day of judgment, these words are going to echo for eternity into your head. It's going to be on repeat while you in the belly of Hades. I'm telling you, the words that I'm saying to you from these scriptures are going to echo in your head for eternity. Do you understand me? So you better choose to stop playing with the Most High's children. You better choose. Choose this day whom you will serve. You will have people that are supposed to be your loved ones, you know, that'll be trying to hinder your walk and hinder your growth with the Creator. You better choose too, because one thing you don't want to do is be an enemy of progress, because then you standing in the way of the will of the Father, and He got to get you out of the way, one way or another. One way or another. If you standing in the way of purpose, the Most High God has to get you out of the way, because His will be done on earth as well as it is in heaven. Real talk. Real talk. Psalm 71 and 10. For my enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together. The Bible says my enemies, they speak against me. Oh, they sit there and talk. They have meetings against the chosen and the righteous. It says, and that they lay wait for my soul. They take counsel together. The goal is to take your soul, because they have lost their souls. They're literally plotting on how they can get to your soul. What type of device could they put in front of you? Could they put something in your life that will make you self-destruct? Could they plant seeds of doubt? Could they, do anything that is going to destroy you? Right? This is the type of conversations that they're having, right? Behind closed doors. They want your soul. Why? Because they lost theirs. And now they got to look at you walking around with a soul, walking around being able to look yourself in the mirror and see yourself. Here you go walking around speaking about the truth in the Bible and becoming enlightened. Here you brothers and sisters go. So now, they want what you have, right? Somebody says I get silenced a lot. Right. Somebody said a lot of distractions and deceptions. Real talk. Somebody said I'm way ahead of everyone that's trying to set me up. See, that's the spirit of the Most High navigating your path. All praises. And if you gain an edification, y'all do me a solid, pound the like button. Somebody says Jezebel just got added to my work environment. Shaking my head. Powerful though, y'all. 100. Somebody says some of us have been through so much in life that even good things feel like a setup. It's hard to trust anyone. Yeah, this is why you got to pray for the discernment needed, so you don't become an individual who is just a recluse. You don't want to become a recluse. You want to have balance. You want to build with people that you can trust. You want to make sure that everybody that's in your circle is right. And I believe that this type of content should help you be able to, decipher who is who in your life. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all already know before I even make these videos who need to be weeded out. It's just that a lot of y'all got to take some time alone to actually reflect and think about who's who and what is what. Who serves value? Who matches your energy in your life? Who are the people in your life that act as a support system? Who are the people in your life that you can rely on and they can rely on you when the chips are down and all bets are off the table? You understand? So a lot of y'all know these things, and you know who's playing a role of the hindrance as well. But sometimes we all need a reminder, right? Psalms 40 and 13. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me, O Lord. Make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backwards and put to shame that wish me evil. Whew. Ooh, that's powerful. As I read that scripture, man, I felt a surge of energy just now. It says, be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me, O Lord. Make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backwards and put to shame that wish me evil. See, a lot of individuals who've been plotting on y'all, a lot of individuals who may have abused you as a child and have been unforgiving, those people who have been relentless in destroying you since you was a little one. Some of y'all grew up in some rough environments dealing with people who had no love for you. The same people who were meant to protect you was there to destroy you. These people, these enemies, those individuals who just scoffers and haters and trolls and just don't want to see you happy and don't want to see you prosperous. The Most High God said, listen, we should be praying that they end up ashamed and confounded, meaning confused. This is the outcome. This is what's going to happen. You know how many enemies spoke negative on myself and others who have been chosen and elected who are confused right now? Literally, you can hear the confusion come out of their mouth. Every time they talk, they're confused. They are hypocrites. Everything they say is hypocritical. They're confounded. The Most High God has confused them. They're not even able to make sense of life anymore. Why? Because they're carrying around the shame of going after God's chosen people. It ain't nothing like having a reprobated mind. It ain't nothing like walking in a strong state of delusion, because the Lord, he done took a couple of chromosomes out of your mind and gave you a chemical imbalance. Now you the walking dead out here. You out here walking just to do Satan's bidding. I'm telling you, the Lord ain't playing. He said he will leave them ashamed and confounded. It says, let them be desolate for a reward. Their shame that say unto me, aha, aha. Woo, because they laughed behind your back. They were poking while you were walking. They were slandering you. They were making up lies. They were spreading rumors on you. It says, let them desolate for a reward. Their shame that say unto me, aha, aha. They was laughing. It's like, laugh now and you cry later. Keep on playing with people who don't want to be bothered, who just want to do, do right in their life. Keep on messing with people who stay in their lane, mind their business, and it's about the Father's will. You keep on playing with them people, laughing at them people. A lot of y'all out there think it's not fly to be doing this Bible talk that I be doing. You think it's corny, you think it's lame. I don't know what you think, but you clearly don't know what the chosen have come from. You clearly don't know what we've witnessed in our lives to bring us to where we are right now. And why we able to have these conversations and interact the way we do. You clearly don't know. A lot of us who in this truth, we've been through more than you little, peons can even fathom. And I'm talking about just in the transition alone from unplugging from the matrix, losing people close to you, losing your home. Some of y'all lost your family, your friends, everybody. Imagine the whole entire world changing overnight. Imagine coming up and finally understanding the harsh reality that you all you got in this cold, treacherous world. And the closer you get to truth and righteousness, the more you find out how much people are under a strong delusion, and how the work of iniquity and the deception from the media and how all these things played a role on the way people see the world and how they treat others and how they treated you. You realize that the matrix ain't no joke, and you got to get free. It takes a lot of courage to do the right thing. It takes a lot of courage to get out the streets when you're making money in the streets, in the midst of, imagine being in the midst of your sin. You just walking away and you still being prosperous in that sin, but you walked away from it and gave up everything. There's a lot of brothers who left the streets. There's a lot of, sisters that could be out here tricking right now. They got out of the streets, and now they waiting tables. And now everybody that they thought was their sisters, everybody that they thought was their friends and their homegirls and their day ones that would be with them until the end, they had to find out that these people was really plotting on your downfall. They really didn't want you to do better for yourself. Matter of fact, when you start to elevate and do better and get out of your old ways, instead of them congratulating you and feeling good, you find out how cold the world is. Like, yo, people don't have no love. And they never wanted to see you do better. They wanted to see you right where they at. I'm telling you. That's the type of world we live in real talk. It says, let them be ashamed and confounded together that seek after my soul to destroy it. Let them be driven backwards and put to shame that wish me evil. If you wish me evil, hey, if you putting out bad tidings and bad words and curses on people, you know, you can expect those things to come around full-fledged. So be careful what you say about people, man. Whether they are around or not. Especially when they're not around, right? Now watch this. Here go where the balance come in. Luke 23:34. Then said Christ, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. Now, do you know how much valor and integrity and love it took Christ while being persecuted and crucified by his own people? Do you know how much it took for him to say, Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do? I'm telling you, this is where you elevate to the next level. This is where freedom comes in. This is where the true freedom comes in. Are y'all hearing me? This is when the Lord has really shined love in you. It's in you. It's there. This is when you can breathe. We got to have that kind of nature about ourselves. Of course, you don't want to cross the line. I'm talking about you don't want to play around with God's chosen, because bad things happen. But we don't want that. The Bible tells us to not celebrate when your enemy falls. Ain't that what the scriptures tell us? If your enemy fall, do not rejoice. That's where your heart turned cold. That's where you're just like them. I don't rejoice when my enemies fall. I try to warn them first. I try to warn them, hey, listen, you dealing with a brother that's walking in the light. The people around me, they walking in the light. Don't do that. Don't do the Lord's people wrong. And then people choose their path. They choose which direction they're gonna go, and they end up down bad. Let's just leave it that way. And it ain't by our own biddings, and we don't wish nothing bad on nobody. I wish nothing but good tidings for people. You understand? Real talk. They don't know what they're doing. They lost. Right? Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. When a man's ways please the Lord, even his enemies will be at peace with him. What that means is there's a lot of layers to that scripture. What that also means is, number one, it means they come to the realization that they can't harm you. So they make peace with that. So typically they'll stop challenging your spiritual authority because they made peace with the fact there's no way that they can penetrate your armor. You got the armor of the Lord on. It is what it is. But it can also mean, and it does also mean, that when they were trying to set up snares, when they were trying to put things in your life that destroy you, where they try to find a weakness in you and exploit that said weakness in order for you to fall, they'll stop that as well. They'll stop trying. And I'm talking about the enemies in disguise. The enemies in disguise will realize, look, this is a man of God at the end of the day. It ain't nothing I can do. They will feel bad for even trying to get you to move backwards, for even trying to get you to go back to the hood and hang with the same people. And they'll feel bad. They'll be like, listen, I'm not even calling Cuzzo down to this spot. We going here. I'm not even going to call so-and-so here. I'm going to make peace with the fact that that's a person of the Lord. I am not going to shame them or alienate them in no way because they don't participate in certain things. I'm not going to disrespect them and invite them to certain places when I know what principles and laws and morals they stand on. They made peace with the fact that your ways please the Lord. So there's layers to that scripture, man. There's layers to it. And we got 1,200 people in the building. We definitely should have 1,200 likes. I see only half the people watching like the video, but that's the type of that's the type of things that go on here. But you got to show your support. You dig? Romans 12:20. Therefore, if thine enemies hunger, feed them. If he thirsts, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. That means kill him with kindness. One thing I learned about gang stalking, neighborhood bullying, and this can go on online as well. One thing I learned about it is people, they genuinely just want to frustrate you. They genuinely are like pests. They want you to get out of character because they feed off that energy. They feed off that energy. They energy harvest, so to speak. They running around here playing Soul Calibur. They feel like if they can get you out of the character, then somehow they gain something from you and it elevates them in Satan's kingdom, right? That's what they believe, and that's how they move. So when you're able to finally deal with the gaslighting in a very when you know how to deal with the gaslighting in a very wise way, oh man, you should see how people act. I mean, listen, with the gang stalking, different programs like COINTELPRO, they send agents all among you, man. The CIA is always watching people, especially people who have a certain impact on society, or people who come from a royal bloodline, a certain lineage, because for those who don't know, we the children of Israel, the Bible speak of. And I'm talking about the melanated people who were in the transatlantic slave trade, but there were also aboriginals in certain countries that were of royal prestige and bloodline, especially in particularly the European nations during the so-called Dark Ages. During those times, there were certain bloodlines that were royalty, kings, and priests. Until this day, the government, this is why you get blood tests when you're born, right? This is why you get blood work when you're born, right? Because they actually keep a file on who these bloodlines are. So a lot of us have been watched from birth. They've been watched, literally, we've been watched from birth. They know exactly who you are. They know what you're capable of because of what your bloodline and done in the past. So don't get it twisted. Everybody wasn't slaves. There were people ruling nations. King James, he ruled over several thrones in Europe. And yes, he was a melanated man. And the fact of the matter is, from birth, a lot of us are watched. We're under observation. Somebody in the chat said you're kidding, right? Does it sound like I'm kidding? Does this sound like some type of joke I'm telling to you right now? Does this sound like a joke? Why else would they keep documentations of your blood from generation to generation? They're tracing who you are. They know who you are from the beginning. And this is why you go through the 12 grades of learning. The 12 grades of learning, where they keep a dossier on you all through high school. When you graduate, they know what you've been doing. They know when you take these tests where you got to fill in the bubbles, they know how your mind operates and everything. They study you. There's case studies on all of us. That's what the whole so-called education system was really for. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. But the point I'm making is, once I learned that, yes, I came to the realization that there are agencies, there's people, they send people to study your behavior using syncrecy. You may go outside and they may send somebody walking a dog every time. Sort of like the Truman Show. On the movie The Truman Show, when Jim Carrey would go outside, the same thing would be happening in syncrecy. Same car would go by, horns would beep, people would play music at certain moments, certain things would take place, and it would be patterns, right? A continual pattern. I've learned that when you see these individuals, when you see these entities being used by Satan, and you know they're choreographing and practicing street theater on you, I've learned to like laugh at it. I'd be like, yo, look at this. I speak to them. Hey, how you doing? You know, engage. If I must engage them, it's not like it used to be. It's not like it was paranoia. It was paranoia back then, right? Yeah, synchronization, surveillance. They even have drones. You know, they watch certain individuals. But, you know, I've learned to like really deal with this a lot better than how I used to deal with it. It's not paranoia, it's not anxiety, because I know they're being used by certain spirits. Let's see. For the guy that said, is this real? I'm going to do you a solid. Yeah, let's get you on up out of there, because you still in here, you know, just running amok in the chat. And we don't have those type of disturbances over here, sir. Yep, somebody said many hearts have waxed cold. That's a fact. Somebody said it's mystical warfare. Absolutely. And there's individuals who are part of occult circles who practice witchcraft, sorcery, and these things are done against targeted individuals as well. And this is why you got to understand the spiritual warfare and the dynamics that come with that. Somebody said, that happens to me all the time. I'm very attentive, so you are speaking facts. Real talk. And these days, you got to be careful who you have relationships with. A lot of you chosen ones got to understand how to navigate. You know, it's people taking artifacts of clothing. They may even prick you to get blood samples to go take it to the altar. I'm telling you, it's real. And you brothers, y'all got to look out for a lot of these honey traps out here. They're really heavy into witchcraft. I was watching this one video where a woman wanted to basically keep a man, and she wanted to be able to observe everything he's doing and has done and surveil him. So she went to the witch doctor, and the witch doctor had a sample of the man's specimen. This is how the great lengths they would go. Had a sample of the man's specimen. For those who don't know, sex magic is very real. I have topics on that on Patreon, but I can't talk too much about that here. But let's just say the woman took the specimen, rubbed it on red candles, and was burning these candles to idol gods to keep this man. So it's spiritual, and I'm saying it's a spiritual aspect to all this as well, because these people are Satanists. These people believe in all kind of insidious, horrendous, disgusting practices, y'all. I'm talking about, you know, there's the whole vabbing trend, using pheromones to attract certain people. Man, these people are witches. They're warlocks, and they want the blood of the chosen. Real talk. Somebody said, when I see a demonic possession in a person in public, I always start praising God out loud. It gets their attention. Right? Real talk. Yeah, you'll get all kind of phone calls once you come into this truth. I mean, it's not, listen, if a lot of people rather have experienced these phenomenons, it cannot be fake, right? Like a lot of people get spam calls. Never used to get spam calls at all, but all of a sudden, now you're looking at certain things online, you're searching for truth, you're enlightening yourself. All of a sudden, you're getting all these block numbers, block calls. I'm gonna tell you, those are agencies calling you. Those are agencies calling you because they're trying to distract you. They're trying to distract you. And those spam calls are put into a database strategically. They're put into a database strategically. So they send agents any way possible. They want to know what's going on in your life, and they'll try to scam you out of things and all of that. Real talk. Somebody said it's nonstop. Someone said they just blocked 10 a day. See? It gets real. Somebody said witchcraft is so real, they've been astral projecting around me when I go to sleep. When I ignore them, they get angry and turn up. Ask me all type of questions when I'm sleeping. It's really crazy. Yeah, this is why you gotta keep your eyes on the Most High, man. Stay prayed up, you know. Stay in that word. Somebody said, hi, Bree, my family pulled out their phone recently to record my family randomly. I had to hit them with the monitoring spirit prayer. Now they act different, so who knows? Shaking my head. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details of that situation, but you know, the gang stalkers and perpetrators, they also like to take pictures. You know, they like to take pictures and they like to record you in public. You'll have individuals, you'll be walking, especially in the cities, you'll be walking and you think you're alone, you know, you're alone in the streets, and you think somebody's just on their phone. You think they're just looking up something or whatever the case may be, and they actually recording you. Especially a lot of you ladies, y'all gotta be careful. And you gotta be careful how you dressing out here, because there's a lot of these perps out here, these guys who are really into sex trafficking. They're really into sex trafficking. And you know, if you dressed a certain way, you scantily clad, showing your nooks and crannies, you know, they walking them streets, they got them phones out, y'all not even really paying attention. A lot of y'all ladies, y'all gotta really pay attention to your surroundings. You know, especially if you a friendly, engaging type of woman. A man might pull up asking for some directions, and you just being friendly. Hey, yes, sir, you go here, you go there. Next thing you know, there's a bag over your head, and you thrown in the back of somebody's truck. You know what I'm saying, or somebody's vehicle. So the perps and the gang stalkers and the weirdos, they really are heavy into recording your patterns, and that's why you got to switch it up. Turn these locations off. Turn them locations off on your phones, man. See, this is a spiritual warfare, but you still got to do what's necessary to survive in this physical world. You understand? So the way I teach on topics such as this one, it's not overly religious, it's not none of that. You got to be practical, right? Yeah, somebody said, what about recording them recording you? I mean, a lot of us, now let me put it this way. If you're trying to build a case, right, and you seeing certain patterns, if you want records for yourself, that's your choice. You understand? If you have some means of pressing the issue to get some type of lawsuit or some kind of justice of any sort, then do what you need to do. But let's make this clear. A lot of the times, our cell phone is the biggest gang stalker. The cell phone is the biggest perp. You know, we got these 5G phones that watch everything. This is why they know what you about to look up before you know what you about to look up. They done studied your iris. They done studied your pupils. These people done got technology out here that can practically read your brain, read your mind, look in you in your eyes. When you looking through the lens, they got your fingerprints, number one. You scrolling, you putting your information in there. If y'all got iPhones, good gracious. I'm surprised they ain't got a sample of your specimen, how much information they get from you with the iPhone. So, and not to mention all these various apps that you're using, you know, such as TikTok, and I mean, all of these things, right? So the biggest gang stalker, the biggest perp would be your phone. So I guess I would say that I won't say that it's asinine to record other people, but I'm just saying that you got to understand how spiritual this is. It's important to be on point. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, I call them gang stalkers, verifiers. Yeah, a lot of them, a lot of them are Masons, man. A lot of them are Freemasons. And one of the first things that a Mason is supposed to do is make enemies with somebody. If they don't have enemies, and that's when they moving up the ranks. Let's make this clear. When they get to certain degrees, they're supposed to make enemies with an individual and find out as much information that they can find out about that person. This is a fact. And my source is Jim Marrs. The source that I got this information I'm giving you is from Jim Marrs, The Illuminati. That's the name of the book. Jim Marrs. And he was breaking down the degrees of Masonry and how they do things like they'll have somebody break in your car and not steal anything. They'll be looking for mail or something like that. They're looking for something. You might get mail taken out your mailbox. They're looking for information. So their goal is to do a case study on people. And a lot of times it'll be Masons in your neighborhood. I believe when the program first started, for me personally, is when I got back on social media after taking a decent hiatus, and I literally live right next door to a Mason. I live right next door to a Mason. All type of weird things would happen. This man would play pornography all hours of the night, really loud. This person would, make a lot of noise, a lot of bumping noises against the walls, and just like he would sit in there and just hit on the damn wall. It was the craziest thing ever, y'all, because I lived in an apartment at the time. My tires on my car would literally be flat. Every other month, I would have flat tires. It would be the same tire. It would be a nail in the tire in the exact same place. I had my car broken into twice. They didn't take anything. So I was thinking maybe they were trying to find mail. How you break in somebody's car and not take anything? You know? Just weird things would happen. I would come out my door and it would be bodily fluids. Would appear to be bodily fluids around the home. They do things like this, y'all. Because they'll send their witches to like put different bodily fluids around your home. Because they casting spells, witchcraft. I'm telling you, it was so much turmoil that took place to the point, man, I flipped on this dude. Like, at the time, I wasn't as, let's say, patient. And let's just put it this way. It was time for me to move. It was time for me to move, right? And from that point, I knew that it was real. I started researching on what was really taking place, because I come to find out a lot of other individuals experienced the very same tactics, the flat tires, damaging cars, breaking into cars, the bodily fluids, feeling like you're being followed through grocery stores on highways, and always feeling like you're being watched. I remember it was one instance where the water had went out. Like the water had went out for some reason, and everybody else's water was working, but the water in our unit. And we had to contact the governor, ladies and gentlemen. It took us days to get water. We had to contact the actual governor of the part of South Carolina I was living in. The governor happened to come out to our neighborhood, and we seen this man walking, all Masonic out, had his, had everything. The governor came to the neighborhood that day. It was the craziest thing. It was just like, yo, this can't be real. This can't be real. Now, mind you, I was in a small town, so, you know, it is what it is. Now, did I say governor? I meant the mayor. Let me recant that. It was the mayor, pardon me, not the governor, it was the mayor. But the mayor was out there, him and his Masonic buddies in our neighborhood. It was the craziest thing. I said, yeah, these people know who I am. They know what I'm talking about. And it is what it is. Somebody said, facts. My neighbors are devil worshipers. And whenever I put my shower on, they start banging their ceiling, which is in my floor because they live under me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Somebody said yes, because sometimes you do need to move out to get away from all that wickedness. Right. The Bible tell you straight up, when you persecuted in one place, man, flee unto the next. And I tell targeted individuals this all the time. Hold on real quick, y'all. Listen, I tell targeted individuals all the time, man. Sometimes you just got to make a drastic change, and you got to operate in faith sometimes. And when things are going on for a number of years, especially in these small communities, a lot of y'all got to move on. You got to move on. Because some of y'all's communities are so demonic that it's almost like Rosemary's Baby. I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie Rosemary's Baby. But it was so much occult sorcery and witchcraft going on in that community that they were just targeting this one woman who had a child. And everywhere she go, they would get on the phone and orchestrate and coordinate. They would know all her ordinances. I mean, to the point where it was crazy. The friends, the husband was in on it. The husband was in on it. The family was in on it. It was just crazy. Somebody said, I fled Atlanta and went straight to Maui. Wow. Blessings to you for that, man. That's a heck of a move. Yep, somebody said you also got to make random moves to throw them off. That's a fact. A lot of times when you frequent the same places, they know your pattern too much and you're easy to observe. Somebody said gang stalking everywhere. Why mind games? Pray for flying monkeys might be under mind control. Oh, they tried it. See, they tried it just now. They see us elevating and growing. That's the stuff I'm talking about. They tapping. They just sent me a software update in the middle of a stream. They do this. This is another tactic. This is another tactic, y'all. So like the video. You really can't make this up. They don't like us talking about this, man. Somebody said a narcissist is the most evil, cold-hearted, and soulless thing that you can become in your life. Show you a world you didn't exist. Author unknown. Yep. And I'm going to tell you, you have to be on point, man. You have to switch it up for them devils. Matter of fact, do the opposite, man. If you get one of those spam calls, instead of getting frustrated and letting them hear the frustration in your voice, yo, you got to troll them. I'm telling you, like, that's another tactic. That's another tactic, yo. Just when they call you and you know they spamming, you know, listen, just do something crazy, like laugh real loud. Just do something just off the chain with it. Answer the phone and just start cracking up laughing and be like, I see you. The Dougal brothers are coming. Just mess with them. You got to throw them off, man. Listen, the Most High God is protecting us, bro. It's like once you walk in that authority knowing that the Lord God got you, man, you're not afraid. It's fun. It's comical because you don't know who you coming against. They don't know who they dealing with. Yeah, you got to act unbothered, but doing something random really gets them, yo. It really does. Somebody said, no response, no energy. Real talk. Somebody said, I've been feeling under the weather all day. I pray you feel better. Yeah, Lucky says, I scream in their ear, they haven't called since. See, that's how you do it. And I see what they doing. They really are, you know, disturbing the stream. I see it go all the way up to 1700. and then 300 to drop off out of nowhere randomly. It'll rise up to 16, 17, and they just dropping people off the chat. This is what they do because they don't want this message out there. So, you know, pound that like button. You know, I've had streams where I had 2,000 people in the stream with 2,000 likes, and the notice still ain't go out. It's the craziest thing ever. But I'm going to tell you, man, you got to be safe out here, move with wisdom, and stay unbothered, man. You got the Lord of hosts protecting you. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I love each and every one of y'all, man. If you are loving the ministry, you know, do your due diligence and your service to help your fellow brothers and sisters, and tap into newbreed.love and get yourself a love note, right? That love note will help you if you're in a dangerous situation, whatever state you may be in. We're able to put you into our network and reach out and send some type of assistance your direction. And on top of that, that love note could be used for discounts for anyone in our network. And it could be used for discounts for our t-shirts, our all-natural soaps, and things of that nature. You know, so $10 going towards a love note goes a long way. You definitely gonna get a bang for your buck. Although it is a donation, it still really helps the cause because we got nonprofit organizations and we got a lot of people that this actually helps, right? So listen, I love each and every one of y'all. I want y'all to have a peaceful day. With that being said, shalom and peace.